Okay, people, we are live. And look, again, I'll tell you a little bit, bring some really good content, bro. Like, this is a link up that you probably wouldn't have thought you'd see before, but here it is, man. Nonetheless, we got me, obviously, URFreshTV, we got Big Apps, and then we got Ryan from URFresh. So
what's happening?
What's going on, people? How are we doing? We all good?
Yeah, man, good, man. Thank you for having us.
No worries.
I think this is my first time. I think Apps has been here. Apps is a big cameraman now, isn't it? He's in front of the camera a lot now, I see.
Hey, that's enough of that talk, man. That's enough of that talk. I'm not a face man at all. I'm just embracing the madness as it comes, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Nah, this is good. Listen, it's good to get everyone together, man. And, just have a little chat. And look, Apple's doing like carpool karaoke now, bro. He's going to start singing with all sorts, bro.
Listen, you aren't ready for me to get the high notes, you know. If I start to John Legend up the place, you ain't ready for that, man.
We already got some people in the chat already. Danny Campion with the eyes emoji. Shout out to you, bro.
Lads, you see what's happened here, yeah? So this is what's happened here, yeah? We've put together the two giants of grassroots football, and everyone's a little bit confused as to how this is happening. Because I suppose you could argue and say you're supposed to be competitors. You're supposed to be competing against each other as opposed to working together. But here's what I'm going to say to everyone that doesn't realize what the culture's about. It's about bettering each other, not trying to get the better of each other. And the only way that we can succeed is if we're united, we're unified. If we're divided, then unfortunately we'll fall. So I'm grateful I've been able to be invited to this one because it's a big link up. And yeah, man, listen, it should be good. So everyone else that's watching and listening in, make sure that you put some questions in there. I'm sure some interesting things will come out of there.
Wait, no,
hey, I got a bone to pick with you, though. I got a bone to pick with you, though.
With me or
with you? Nah, not with you. Right, hey.
What have I done now?
I heard that you said.
Yeah.
I heard that you said once upon a time that there's no teams in West.
I did say that. In comparison to South, in comparison to South, if we're going to talk about what side of the river we're going to go, South is where it's at, right?
No.
And what I'm saying to you is, so I watched the game. To be honest with you, do you know what we had this conversation?
I need to stop you because we have to speak facts, and if we're going to chat, we have to chat facts.
Go on, let's go.
The best South had to offer got bopped by the second best that West had to offer. So we don't want to hear none of that chat this side of the river. I'm letting you know that now. We don't want to hear that chat this side of the river. So take that all the way back. Run that back to South. Run that back to South real quick.
All right, cool. So listen to me. So what I said before we started recording, I said to Roots that, do you know the thing is about really jumping into with 2 feet in the URFresh thing is that it's opened my eyes to how big Sunday League is. Because I think before we done the filming, I played Sunday League, and you only think about Sunday League within your area. So it's only now that URFresh has really started blowing up that you realise. And so we got clubs from Liverpool messaging us now, and it's like you don't. I never thought of it logically like that. You're like Sunday League as a whole. I always thought of Sunday League locally. So do you know what it was? Obviously, I got the majority of my family from Ladbroke Grove. Yeah. So I know
so
about. I know about.
Now. All right, cool. I see what you're doing there. You're trying to claim a little.
I had family in West before you lot were born. So really,
okay.
But do you know what it is? I think I know. Obviously, you got AFC Hammersmith. I had Yoel used to play for me at Collier's Wood, and he was over there. And I think, from what I know, they're a really good side, but I don't think they record their games and whatnot. And then I went to watch a game, Lambeth against, is it NLO?
Okay. Yeah.
And NLO were, I think they might have been 3-0 up. Okay. When we first got there, so they gave them a run for their money. It was a really good second half performance from Lambeth, and I think they succeeded and won 4-3. Windsor went and got the winner, and that's when I started realizing, Sunday League. There is Sunday League absolutely everywhere. That this little white winger who gave Jimbo a torrid time where in the first half, I think he got a hat trick, and that's when I started realizing how big Sunday League actually is. You know, I think. Me and Viv have made many long distance journeys. One of them was when I first met Apps, and we came over, and that's when Mr. Finishing Touch I don't know whether you poached him from that game when you lot won, you know, and you done the slippery thing and just said, yeah, come and play for us. We've got this nice, lovely
We don't do
Takers top.
poaching. We don't do poaching.
Oh, so,
you know what happens?
so he was in your DMs before that.
Listen, people see the light, and it's like moths. They come. That's it. They're just drawn to the flame. Can't be helped for that. Can't be helped for that.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, if you take your side out of the equation, because I think you're a very good coach, very confident. Takers are doing their thing. Yeah. So if we take your side out of the equation, have you managed to see many other Sunday League teams play, or from what you've seen, who is the best Sunday League team you've seen?
Do you want me to answer that question honestly, or do you want me to be a little bit PC?
I want you to answer it, but explain both ways. So if you're going honestly, who do you think?
All right, I'll answer honestly. I don't give a flying fuck about anybody else that plays. I don't
love that.
I don't care about them. So you can talk about any team you want. Any other team that I hear that isn't Takers, I don't care about. Cool. I'm not sleeping on anyone. I just don't care about them enough to go looking. I will never go looking ever in my life. I don't look over the. Do you think that's one of the biggest problems?
Do you think that's one of the biggest problems in Sunday League? That a lot of other clubs focus on a lot of other teams rather than focus on yourself first and foremost.
Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Don't look at what anybody else is doing. Don't worry about looking over the wall. But the thing is, my approach is that of a coach or a manager, in the sense that I'm probably uniquely confident in my own ability to lead any football team to victory, to the point that I don't care about what problems the opposition can bring. So to bring that into life.
I'm a big believer. Obviously,
so to go back to your initial question, Apps, and back to you, Ryan. Do you rate the teams over in West London now? Because there's more than us than the Takers.
Of course, well, you got to look at Rising Ballers are West, no? Initially, they're West. And I think whether their platform is very unique in the sense that they didn't have to come and play Sunday League. Yeah? They created an environment where they may not work, where they maybe wasn't playing week in, week out, and you've got good people like Maz and that down at Rising Ballers that put their boys in an environment where it's like, whoa, hang on a minute. So, and it works in two ways. It's a platform to push young people into a pro environment or to academy setup, right? But it's almost sort of like, do you want to be playing Sunday football for the rest of your life? Because some of them boys might never want to go and play Sunday football again, but they understand that they have to play week in, week out in the environment that they've been brought into in order to succeed and go forward. You know?
Well, I don't think it's about playing Sunday League football for the rest of your life. I think it's more of those, do you want to play football for the rest of your life? And I think a lot of the guys that are involved want to do that. And you know, it's not always about how good you are as a player. It's not always about how well known you are. It's about who knows you and what is the power of that person. Because I can tell you from experience, you know, working in the pro environment, we've had a lot of very good players come to our doors, better than what we've got, but we don't take them. But then we'll get an average player that comes in, and because it's come from a certain somebody, we'll take him. And this is just. You know, it kind of happens. So sometimes like build a bit of a profile, and I think being at a club like Takers, where there's a lot of attention and a lot of momentum behind the club. If a player comes, they're young, they're talented, and they do well, and of course there's an affiliation with a professional coach. There's obviously clear camera footage of your games. Probably more likely to give you a look than if you were Joe Bloggs off the street. So,
of course.
But further to that, Sunday football now, I believe, certainly in the direction that I want to take it with the Amateur Premier League, is now also a viable career to have. Yes, you can have a career playing a decent level of football. Some people just want to play football. If they get paid, they get paid. Some people want to play in the Premier League for the prestige. I would say that where we're headed right now, especially with the kind of quality that the likes of Takers, Lambeth, SE Dons, the kind of quality that these teams have, all ex-academy players, ex-pros, people that play at high level but drop down on a Sunday, these kinds of things. You know, this level of football now for me is more entertaining than non-league football. And I would say if you look at the quality, well, this is my genuine professional opinion, looking at quality, when I say this, and the top end teams blows the top end of step 3 away, of non-league, blows them away. So I now look at it and say, actually, Sunday league football, despite what it's been in the past, is now very, very much a viable future.
Do you think that's the stigma of, you know, like the old dinosaur mentality of like Sunday league, they turn up, they're still drunk? I think that people still live in that time of that's what Sunday league is, you know?
Yeah.
So certainly when I played Sunday league.
Yes, but it's up to people like us now to change the image of that. And I think that's something that Takers are doing. I think that's something that SC Dons are definitely doing. You look at what he's doing, is going out there and he's doing a lot of motivational talks in schools and really informative. Those are the kinds of things that people don't associate with amateur football. And I think those are the kinds of things that we really need to be associated with amateur football now, because what amateur football is now is a reflection of who and where we are in society. And
of course it is.
We kind of need to show that actually we have leveled up as a society. Yes, we have leveled up. We're no longer just turning up half-assed and drunk. Actually, the top end of amateur football is taking this thing serious. We're using this as a platform to promote ourselves, but also express ourselves. So you know, it's up to people like you and Roots especially to make sure that we're promoting the best of amateur football, so the whole country, so the whole world can see that actually this isn't a joke and what we're doing is serious.
I've actually seen now a lot of people in the past that sort of go, Sunday league, and turn their nose up, that actually play Sunday league now. And I think there's two words is that when you revert to it as Sunday league, I think that's where that stigma comes from. Of amateur football now, if you change your wording in the way that you're describing what they're doing, it sounds very different. So Sunday league sounds very, Sunday league, I ain't playing Sunday league. But when you talk of it as amateur football, then it sounds different. It has a different ring to it.
Well, this is why I really try to avoid certain terminologies when it comes to what we're doing. I refuse to call it Sunday league or pub football or anything because it isn't. It doesn't represent what I teach. It doesn't represent what I see on a Sunday when we turn up to play against the likes of Stars or an SC Dons. It doesn't represent what we're looking at. We're looking at teams that have come out, they're calculated, there's a lot of ability, there's a lot of concentration, and also there's an awful lot of financial backing to some of these organisations.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're watching proper football clubs played by people for the people. That's what we're now seeing. So but I will never ever refer to it as Sunday league. It is very much amateur football.
Yeah, and I think that's something probably Roots will agree on as well, is that obviously working within that setting, there's obviously different levels to amateur football. There is some levels that with groups of people that are happy to play with their friends and turn up half drunk the next day, because that is their form of, that's the level, that's the social element that they want from the game. Yes, that's the social side of things.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And what I do believe very clear.
Yeah.
What I always make very clear in my environment, whenever I'm coaching, wherever I am, whether I'm at MK Dons or this one or that, wherever I am, I make it very, very clear that I'm not a kickabout for fun coach. I don't do things. Yeah. If you want to turn up and have a kickabout and have fun, link me midweek in Power League and we'll go and do five-a-side. If you want to turn up and you want to play ball and you actually want to ball out, link me on a proper day, proper environment, proper setting, and we'll talk real football and we'll do football properly. Because otherwise, I'm not involved. If it's anything outside serious, I'm not involved. So if you see Apple Westcott attached to a club, any amateur football club, professional club, you know that we're there for a reason. We're there for real.
And you know what? Just to add to that, I think there's something very key in that message, and I saw it. It was a fair few weeks ago in one of your team talks. If you have that mentality, that is exactly how you build better people. It's not just about turning up on a Sunday and just having a kickabout, as you said. I really do believe in the environment I work in a prison setting with young people. I deliver football qualifications. You become a product of your environment. Now, if that environment is positive and you can spread a positive message and you repeat it, and it becomes repetitive, it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, you can put it into action. And that's what I believe, is that by building positive environments, you build positive places, and it allows people to express themselves positively in a positive manner.
We have to sort of put ourselves in the environment that we want to become. Do you know what I mean? If we are constantly surrounded by negativity and naysayers, then of course we're going to become everything negative in our environment. If we decide, well, actually, we want to change, we want to level up, we want to do certain things, there comes a sort of a crossroad moment in your life where you have to take something serious, and that something, generally speaking, has to be a thing that you're passionate about. And what I would say makes our environment very, very unique, and I know, Roots, you can definitely verify on this one. What makes our environment so unique is that unlike other industries, we're all brought together by one common interest. You know, there's this one common thing that kind of binds us all together, and it's this love to compete. It's this love to not just play football, but win. Everybody wants to win, and it's like, when you have that mindset, you've got that mentality, it becomes part of your DNA, it becomes a part of your fabric as a human being. And when the stitch of that fibre is getting unpicked on a daily basis, you know, you're surrounding yourself by people that want to smoke weed, and they want to sell drugs, and they don't want to better themselves, and they want to do this, and they're going to do that. You know, it's a conflict of interest. So this is why I always try to make it very, very clear to everyone. When you sign up to wherever I am, when you sign up to Apple Westcott, what you're getting is not just football. It's not about just football. I need you to commit to this process emotionally. I need you to commit to this process wholeheartedly. It has to be everything or nothing. And, you know, it's interesting because we get to come across the kinds of people that other people only ever read about in newspapers, negative headlines. You know, and these kinds of things. And we get to come across these people on a daily basis, interact with them, and see the human side of them, and we get to see how they ended up where they are, why they are the way they are. But we also have an even better ability, which is to actually affect how they are the way they are, and maybe rewrite their history, rewrite their future. And that's all I'm interested in, being a part of someone's process.
Yo, I'm gonna come into this because I feel like I'm a sideman in my own stream. So you know, I'm just literally just watching you two speak, bro. I'm gonna read this one out as well from Caldecott Arms again, because obviously he was joining in the conversation. So he's saying that, but it's only Sunday league mentality is slowly fading. So much has changed in the last few years. We take it more seriously now than when we set up in 2016. So yeah, interesting words from there. Danny Campion as well asks you, Ryan, who's the best player you coach? And I think he's asking for you to say, pick me. So
is it the same reason? He's probably asking for the same reason to when you had him in, I asked who's the best coach who's coached you.
Yeah,
I think. Do you know what? I think again, one thing Apple touched on his attitude is that I can take you on a journey, but are you willing to come on that journey wholeheartedly with me? Do you really understand what coming on that journey means? And listen, I was very much, it was only through what I had to go through in terms of trauma and nearly losing my life and then going to prison for me to realize I was very much, I start something and not finish it. Oh, I can't complete that. Let me start something else. And then every time I saw people, they were like, where are you now? And I'd be like, I'm here. And they'd be like, yeah, but weren't you here? And that was becoming a very repetitive pattern. And I was like, I really need to stop that process of people. I'm becoming the man that starts things and don't finish them. And I don't want to be that person, because the most important people in my life that are watching, people like my son and my daughter, what platform am I setting them to succeed? That actually start stuff and not finish it. Start stuff. Listen, it's all right to start something, not finish it, and maybe go back to it. But I wasn't going back to anything. I was just stopping and giving up. There's the difference. Certain times you can't achieve stuff right now, but I might need to go away, upskill myself to come back to it and finish it.
Ryan,
but what I will do.
Sorry to jump in. Can I ask you a question? Why do you think you had an inconsistent personality? Why do you feel? Why? I'm just kind of, because this is developer, you know, and I'm just kind of curious because I want to ask this question. You know what your behavior cycle was. That's clear.
Yeah.
Why do you think your behavioral cycle was like that? What was going on with you to make it be that way?
Do you know what? I think I got to be careful what I say because Mum's in the background. Mum was very no, listen, look, yeah, say hello to the people, Mama.
Hi.
But do you know what it was? I've been brought up in a really good home. Mum and Dad are still together now, so it was very clear that I never picked up them traits. It wasn't hereditary. It wasn't from my home life. And I always had this conversation now. For me, my dream was always to play football. What I didn't want to do is accept I wasn't good enough. But what I didn't have was the discipline and the drive to carry it on. So I was almost in a catch-22. I want to be a pro, but I don't want to train like a pro. I've been told I'm not good enough, but I'm not now going to go and train even harder. So I think it was that not wanting to accept failure, even though in here I knew I was failing, but I didn't want to show to everyone else. Oh, hang on. So when people see me, I'm going training. I wasn't going training. It was just that persona I was trying to uphold because everyone expected me to do well. But the expectancy, what is that expectation of everyone else wants you to do well, but that's irrelevant what everyone else wants you to do. What do I expect from myself?
Guys, I got a question in here from Daniel Drum saying, what about Saturday Amateur Football League? So again, going back to the previous conversation, because you guys have mentioned Sundays, but what about Saturdays? What's the thought on that?
So do you know what, right? I think Saturdays, so I've done some coaching with Sporting 50, I believe they play in the Saturday Amateur League, so I think they play one below the Surrey Elite. And do you know what? There's a lot of boys that have dropped out of Saturday football, and again, they play the Saturday Amateur for the same reason people play Sunday Amateur. But I think there's still that half a dream of clinging on to still trying to go the non-league route. So working up from a Saturday Amateur into the Surrey Elite, into the Combined One, and maybe trying to find their love for it that way. Because what I find with players that you have certain players that might be good at step 5, but aren't great at step 4. So they're finding their level, and I think you have some people that aren't great at combine, so they drop down to Combine 1. So that has a knock-on effect. So when I look at it and think, I think Saturday amateur football certain times is sometimes to get back into the Saturday non-league scene. I might be wrong there. I'll let that young man decide for himself. But that's what I generally tend to find is that the people that I talk to on a Saturday who play Saturday amateur also still have the aspiration to try and work their way up through the sort of step 6s and step 7s.
And I kind of mirror that. I think that's because the whole there's inherited prestige that comes with playing on a Saturday as opposed to playing on a Sunday against drunk guys. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, that's what you and Roots are here to do, which is transform the image of amateur football on a Sunday and make everybody realise that actually Sunday football is where the real talent is. And you know, one of the things that really excites me about amateur football is the limitless potential that it has. Because at any point, at any given time, you will see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ex-professional players turn up and they're there and they're playing. And the majority of the time when people do that, they turn up on a Sunday, is because there's always been that unserious element sort of attached to Sunday League football. But we're here now trying to reattach a bit more of a purposeful, and I'm not saying it has to be serious, but I'm saying what we're doing is we're attaching a meaningful tag to amateur football on a Sunday now. I think this is something that can only improve the face of football in general. So whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday, you know, the organisation that you're with and the person that's coaching you and leading you, that's all that should ever matter to anybody. Do you feel inspired in that environment? If you don't, shut up shop, go somewhere else. You know, but wherever you go, you should definitely want to be inspired. And
do you know what? Sorry, Ax. And do you know that it's funny you say that, because I had a conversation yesterday within my work environment. Is that when you talk to a lot of people, they look for inspirations of famous people, footballers, or whatnot. And one of the key messages I was trying to deliver yesterday: surround yourself with people that inspire you. Someone, it doesn't always have to be pro footballers. It doesn't have to be public figures. It's your friends, peers, Roots. We had a conversation not so long ago with Dan in the car, and there's certain times where we think, is this worth it? And we might find motivation from Roots. We might find motivation from amateur footballer, Selk, because us lot are in the same industry. So certain times I look at and think, certain times there is slight competition. Of course there is. That's what keeps us going at times. But I have to take inspiration from the same people that are getting up on a Sunday morning, the same as us, traveling even further than us. They're the people that inspire me. Yeah, because they're doing the same thing as me. And if you can surround yourself with people that inspire you, I think you can go a long way. Because I know I want to inspire other people through the messages I'm delivering day in, day out. You know?
One of the things that really interests me as a developer is not necessarily me wanting to inspire people. What I actually want to do is Look, I aspire to inspire people to want to inspire themselves, you know. And I think if you can get somebody to look at the beauty of themselves, then
Yeah.
I think that they'll never need to look to someone else for approval or validation ever again.
Yeah.
So sometimes
Yeah.
it's just about installing or installing or reinstalling that feeling of self-worth and self-belief. Because if someone believes in themselves, mate, they'll never need validation from anybody ever again. And I think, Roots, just asking your opinion on this one. When you do your master's degree, did you have anybody to inspire you, or was it just a matter of, you know what, I know I need to do this for myself, for the betterment of my life and my career, so I have to grasp and just go for it? Is there an element of resilience that's now missing from the generation that we're kind of trying to lead and inspire?
I don't know if there's missing. I think this next generation have got more gap and go than my generation and our generation. I think they'll just gap and do it. Whereas, you know, my generation was always told, like my parents was always said, yo, go to college, university, that sort of stuff. And it's only when I thought, you know what, there's people doing cheat codes. People are just like picking up a camera and running with it. Do you know what I mean? Some people think, I haven't got degrees or whatever in this. Some people think I'm just a guy who just picked up a camera and just ran with it. Like, I am, in a sense, but I've got experience behind me to back it up. Whereas the next generation that we're trying to coach, manage, and inspire, they just got more get up and go. I feel like they got more drive.
Can I just say something? Because this is something that you're quite humble. You're a very, very humble guy, Clinton. Very, very humble. And I know you never talk about it, but you also are a member of the Football Blacklist. You were given an award. You're now a part of the Football Blacklist yourself for your contribution. And I think that's a very, very big deal, and things like that should be celebrated. I don't want
1,000,000%.
Do you know what I mean? That should be celebrated. I don't want people going through life thinking that, you know, it's all roses, or they can just wing at anything. You have to pay real attention to things that you want to do. You have to become obsessed with it. And what you've managed to do, taking your platform from literally zero to where it is right now, I just think, man, in itself is just like such an achievement, and I think that should be celebrated. Ryan, what you've done with URFresh is a madness. Like what you guys are doing off your own back. No one's putting their hand in their pocket and going, here you go, here's 50 grand, go and make this, go and do this. Like, that's a big, big thing. So people that are getting the attention from Roots and from URFresh, please understand that these guys are doing this off of their own back. Like, this is not like they're not getting paid money to come and do this, like to make you feel special. Do you know what I'm saying? This is a big deal.
Do you think, right? So do you know when you say that? Because you know what, as I said, like, especially URFresh, I've known Viv down over 20 years. We grew up together. And he was ringing me one day. I was in between jobs. And he said, right, I've had an idea. And he came to me and said, right, how do we sort of become like the Sky Sports of the amateur football scene? He said, I've been looking, there's a few people doing that thing, but how do we do that? And it was an hour conversation in my front room over a cup of tea, and we are where we are now. But do you think modern day society, the stigma is how negative society can be? It leads us, no, sometimes you think we want to celebrate it, but should we be celebrating it? And as you said, we should be celebrating more, because as I said, when I look at what people are doing, like amateur football, like he done a documentary with Jacko, like, for him, I know it was a massive achievement. I was reading the comments. Pick up the amateur footballer for what he's doing. I know he's had people on Selk. I know people used to banter about the banter going backwards and forwards of Selk. There's no animosity towards Selk. Like, you have to give him his due. What he's doing his thing, and there's never any animosity from us for people that are doing or trying to match what we're doing. It's a massive achievement, because, as you said, everything's an outgoing, everything's an expense at the minute, but we love what we're doing, you know. And that's the thing. And I think for me, what it has done for me, someone, as I said, I went through a lot and I suffered mentally with a lot. The people that I've been able to meet through doing what I'm doing, I wouldn't change it for the world. I've generally met lifelong friends for the rest of my life now, you know. So, and that's the one. Ricochet is a small world. Ricochet grew up with my cousin, so we were talking for ages, and then my cousin messaged me saying, oh, my friend started a Sunday team called Takers. I was like, Ricochet? He's like, yeah, that's my friend. So it's a small world, but I just think we do need to commend ourselves more. There's times where you have to look back and reflect and think, you know what? what we're doing is really good. It's really positive, and it reflects on 99% of the young people I work with at the minute. If I ask them what are they good at, 99% of them will tell you nothing, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Because they're under-inspired, they're under-motivated, they're unmotivated, they're disinterested, they're disenfranchised, because there's no feeling of self-worth being installed into them in school, in home life, whatever it is. And I think that's something that it maybe even carries on because of social media, you know, and the introduction of social media. We're in this social media age now, and it's frightening because you can see how much good it can do, but then you can also see how much bad it can do. My question, Clint, and this is to both of you really, but Clint, when you have been struggling, when you have been undermotivated and uninspired, where do you still find the motivation to still turn up on a Sunday when you ain't getting paid, to go and talk to people that chat shit to you, they're disrespectful? Where do you still find the motivation to still do this? Like, I know, Ryan, you go through that too. So I just want to know, where do you both find the motivation to still do this when everything is really kind of against you, when you've already got established monsters like BBC, Sky Sports, and these kinds of things?
Go on, I'll let you go first, Roots.
Where do I find the motivation? You know what it is? Sometimes it's always that 99:1 ratio, innit? Like, everyone could be like, yo, I love what you do, Roots, like, keep doing it. And then it's that one person that might just get to you, like, But then you kind of look back and you think, you know what? I've helped so many people. Like, I've had people that said that they've come on Roots, and off the back of that, do you know what I mean? They've gone on to like a media career or something like that. And that's where they first got it. I've literally had that about 2 or 3 times over. So when I look at and hear sort of things like that, those are the sort of things that inspire me to go and say, you know what, you're actually doing something. When I look back at like the football blacklist award that you mentioned, Apple, like when I see that, I'm like, wow. Like the first year, Pippin got to go to St George's Park by the FA, and I'm thinking, right, little old me who's picked up a camera, and then this Pippin invited to St George's Park off the back of an idea. So when I look back at that, I'm thinking, hold on a minute, I'm doing all right, you know. Like even when I had that conversation I had with you and B when you said, you spotted me at the Kennywell game and Pippin, you didn't want to approach. I was like, me?
Yeah.
Who am I, sort of thing? But then I'm thinking,
and there you go, bro. And that's where that's where you need to take more credit for yourself. As I said, that was one of our first game, and I remember saying to V, "That's Roots, innit? That's Roots, innit? Like we can't go over there. That's Roots. That's Roots. Like do you get what I'm saying? And that's where, as I said, we took a lot of inspiration from people like yourselves to be where we are. And I think for me, my inspiration comes from others that are doing the same. And I think, you know what it is, Apps? Is firstly, we got to be thankful that people wake up every day. We got to be thankful that we wake up every day and we're able to get up. And I think every team we go and watch, we notify them, right? So how can I tell a team that we're coming and wake up in the morning and let people down who have got up, especially because they know URFreshTV are coming? So they're not turned. I just think for me, reputation, it stands for a lot. What I stand for, I don't want to be known as that letdown guy, the guy that, you know, so I take motivation from other people. These people have got up and traveled miles and miles and miles because they want to put in a shift and they want us to come and promote them, you know? So who am I to lie on my bed and go, you know what? I don't feel great, you know, so I'm not even going to go and record them today. What message then, for me not feeling great, could have a domino effect on 5 or 6 others not feeling great while URFresh don't even want to come out and watch us. So say someone within that squad isn't feeling great, but you know what? Knowing URFresh is coming, maybe the little kick up the backside they need. So for me now not to turn up and make someone feel worthless, nah, man, that can't happen. That's where my drive comes from, you know? I'm lucky that I have someone like Viv that drives me, motivates me, and vice versa. There's times, as I was saying to Roots before, there's been times, bro, when we're like, you know what, we're done. Like, let's just pull the plug, you know, like we don't know what direction it's going and things like that. But you know, there's days when Viv feels like that and I motivate Viv, and lucky enough there hasn't been a day when we both feel like that, because what we are doing is every day we get DMs that uplift us and make us feel very proud of what we're doing. But sometimes as people, you're like, oh, you want to be proud of it, but there's a lot of people worse off. But you should be proud of the things you're achieving, you know. And it's really important to reflect and take time to realize what you're achieving. I think that's super important.
Right, let's talk about some spicy stuff now, man, because we're doing the inspirational talk too much, man. We had 30 minutes of it. Let's talk about some spice. Let's talk about London Cup. London Cup.
But hang on, this is where I contradicted myself. Who did I say was going to win the London Cup?
Can I answer that question? Can I answer that question?
Go on.
Can I answer that question?
Yeah.
No one fucking cares, and the reason why is because the London Cup really, look, it's a cup competition, one game at a time. It's not like it's a Champions League where there's 2 legs. So for me, in a one game, one off, anything can happen, and that to me isn't really the measure of who the best team is. So if we are really interested in finding out who the best is,
let's go. Let's go. Talk to me.
Let's find the format where we can get all of the best teams and actually get them to compete in a way that really does promote and really does show who is the best team out of you guys. 2 legs across a certain period of time, that for me makes more sense. A one game, one team could turn up, they've got one set of ringers, another one turns up, they've got one man who's not serious, they've got another. So come on, we know there's a logistical inconsistency that comes with this level of football. So it's never really a show of who's actually the best.
So then when we look at that format, surely that format's got to be the top 2 or top 3 from each league going to maybe like a Champions League top. Yeah? Now we're talking. Roots, I challenge you. Amateur footballer, I challenge you. Selk, I challenge you to come and work with us and let's get this cracking, because there's been a lot of talk about this. Yeah, ideas. If listen, words are words. Put them words onto paper. Put the paper into action, and let's get it done. Because at the minute, what happens in the words go up in the sky and they disappear. And then what it is, the next live will be, yeah, we've got to do this tournament. The next live, we've got to do this tournament. Let's get it done. If we have another lockdown and it locks off the leagues, yeah, we know who the best teams are. We invite, and let's get this going, yeah, because we can settle this once and for all, yeah. And because I know for reasons being, go on, but I heard a but.
No, I was just saying we kind of steered away from the question initially. So we're talking about London Cup. Apple came in there with this.
I'm good at this.
He just kicked everything out of the park, but I still want to know about London Cup because but
we don't want to know about the London Cup. Look, we want to know about the National Cup. We want to know about the Amateur National Cup. That's what we want to know about, the Amateur National Cup, backed and sponsored by Roots and URFreshTV. That's what people really want to know. People want to know about that. The best teams in Manchester, the best teams in Liverpool, the best teams in London, the best teams in the Midlands, the best teams in the South. If we're not talking about the best, there's no point in talking about the London Cup.
So do you agree then what you do then? You regionalize it and then you nationalize it. So locally you win and then we go nationals. So the best team in London, the best team in Manchester. But you know what?
Or you say the top two, and then you make a real competition. We do it over the course of the year. We do it Friday night. No one can talk about
manageable,
I'm
isn't
busy
it?
on a Friday night. Of course it's manageable. Listen, at the end of the day, all of these guys, and I said this before, don't tell me you're the best. Don't argue with me and tell me you'll beat me. Just come and show me. Join the Amateur Premier League. Join the National Amateur Cup, and we'll go and get it cracking. Otherwise, I don't want to hear nothing from anyone.
All right.
Roots, London Cup.
Yeah, Apple, just take a little time out for this one.
Right, so
I want to know about favourites because I know you put your stuff out and I've got mine. Oh, come out.
Did you leave? Roots. All right, listen, we can talk. So we can talk. So obviously, just to put it out there, last year my prediction was right. Hats off to me. Yeah. This year, I really believe. I believe Maz is a great coach. Away from that, I think he's a good guy. Rising Ball is what they represent, and I really looked at it and I thought, you know what? This year would be their year.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. So now we can't talk about them. Do I think M Boys will go on and win it because they beat Rising Ballers? No, I don't. M Boys, good group of boys, by the way. I had them on my live, and they're good people.
Mm-hmm.
For me, then, if you're not going to go Rising Ballers, you can't write off reigning champions Lambeth. You can't write them off. Dons haven't been as vocal as what they normally are. You can't write the Dons off. They will go quietly about their business, And believe me, everything I had Donny Jones on my podcast. They want revenge. Like when he come, he says they win. Was it 3 out of 4 cups? They want the aim is for them every year is to win something, whether that's the league or the London Cup. Shout out Longest 90. I just see him pop up. We talk about these people. Sorry to change it. This guy, football's his life. He even come to my FA Vars game. He was with the Dons in the morning and came to my Sutton Common Rovers game in the afternoon. Big up Longest 90. Now for me, are you asking me for a team? You're asking me for a team, right?
I'm not asking you for a 15 because
you see the way I was trying to go around the houses.
Of course, I heard it, bro. I ain't heard one team. I heard this team. I'll tell you my one team. I'll say it's AFC Hammersmith. I'm saying that. I'm sticking with my West, okay? I'm saying it with my chest. I'm saying, AFC Hammersmith will win.
Yeah.
I'm there.
We'll win the London Cup.
And there's no disrespect to Lambeth All Stars. Big respect up to them. Again, they own the cup. SC Dons, obviously, kings of this thing at the moment. But again, I've got to put it out there. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, innit? People can clip it up, whatever. But I've got to say...
Then I'm going to go for it. I think Lambeth All Stars will retain the London Cup.
Okay.
I think Lambeth All Stars will retain the London Cup. Okay. And what I want to see is a Dons Lambeth final. But I don't think they'll allow it to happen. Jamal, I'm not saying that you're rigging the draw. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But what I'm saying is I know I talk a lot about Lambeth, and listen, my borough borders them. They're good people. Dons, what they're doing is amazing. But I'm talking in terms of football. What I've seen, they're unreal. Dons are unreal. But there is many other side. I think we together, amateur footballer, are shedding light on more teams because, as I said, there's so many teams that I've seen. I'm like, I never heard of these, but they're good, you know. But I just think for Sunday League football, I know they're massive. They're massive platforms anyway. You'll get over 4,000 people there. I guarantee it. Yeah, there'll be people disappointed that they can't get in the ground. You have people on step ladders outside the stadium. you know what? And what I do think that sort of cup final takes me to the next level. I'll go Lambeth to retain it, but I want to see a Lambeth Dons final. I think February is Lambeth Dons in the league. I believe Longest 90s in. He might be able to confirm that. So you go on Hammersmith. I'll go on Lambeth. He's back.
And he's back.
My bad. Apologies.
Sorry, man. Bro, I was like, why this guy rude?
Did we offend you? We offended you.
Nah, listen. Never. I can't be offended, man. My skin's too thick for that.
Love that.
I had to just two family things. I had to quickly sort out the baby and all them. Yeah, all like that. Yeah. So sorry. Apologies.
We've got our anyway. So Ryan's saying Lambeth All Stars to retain. I'm saying AFC Hammersmith because West London boy again representing. So again, we said it with our chest. Let's see what happens. But again, we haven't forgotten your idea, bro. I mean, people have come in and said, basically, this is what the Longest Night said. That idea is effectively the Nationals 2.0. Colne Athletics, they're a great idea, but ain't the FA Sunday Cup there for that?
Nope, it isn't.
But
do you know what? Do you think a lot of clubs don't enter the Sunday League FA Cup because of the financial stress?
Yep.
It puts on clubs ultimately, and I know that's a big thing. If you've got financial backing, it's great, but for the smaller clubs that may not have that, and there is a lot of smaller clubs out there that are very good sides that can't enter it because of the fight. Imagine putting that money in and adding the pressure that you have to win it to be noticed. It's not logistical for a lot of clubs. But what you're talking about, and there will be someone out there that will want to sponsor it because there will be costs involved in that. Someone will want to grab that by the neck. But what it is down to us is the people, the creators that want to move this scene forward, to grab that idea by the bollocks, excuse my language, and actually make it a reality. Listen, if we go into another lockdown in January, the leagues are done again. They're done again. Do you know what I mean? So that's when you have to start putting things like that in motion. And if we do get locked down again, people want to buy into that idea more than anything. And it gives teams motivation to want to become the best. How do they add to their sides to be able to be on these clubs' levels? It gives clubs something to aspire to. I want to be in that. How can we be in that? So definitely a great idea.
Right, I'm gonna ask you.
Coming at it from...
Hold on. So I'll go one for him. So again, playing devil's advocate, if you've got 4 teams, 2 from South, 2 from West, Rising Ballers Takers, Lambeth All Stars, SC Dons, who comes out on top?
Say that again. Lambeth Takers, Rising Ballers, SC Dons.
Yeah.
Woo, I'm gonna go. What, I need to pick one winner?
Yeah, one winner.
You know what? You already know what the answer to this question is going to be, don't you? Is it? I want to go at the minute Lambeth. Of course, I'm going to go Lambeth. Only because, as I said, listen to this shit. One thing I said to Winge is, see when you win, you show when you win, but you got to show when you lose. Losing is sometimes a really important part of moving forward. You know. So the St. Joe's game has finally come out. Finally, 6 months after. That should have come out sooner. So you have to take them L's on the chin. Apps will tell you that as a coach, I don't like to call it losing, it's learning. Sometimes you have to learn and move forward. It's finally come out. So maybe that's a mental obstacle they've had to get over in. They thought they were going to win it. I don't know if they were thinking too much about the London Cup. Then it was like, all right, we beat Don, St. Joe's and knocked us out quick London Cup, and they went and won it. So for me at the minute, Takers, Rising Ballers. Never happened, yeah? That's the game we're all going to come out and see. Rising Ballers beat Dons.
Yep.
Lambeth beat Dons last year. We haven't seen Lambeth Rising Ballers. We haven't seen Lambeth Takers. I'm going to go Lambeth. They're London Cup winners. I think they're top of they're top of the league at the minute. Or they've got games in hand. They're a very good side. They've got something that a lot of clubs haven't got in terms of the level and quality of strength and depth in their side. It's silly that the only thing is that if you're playing regularly, can you get that level of sorry, my phone's
your phone's for you, bro.
Sorry, I just had to lock it off. Sorry. I think when you have strength and depth, and this is where it comes into apps, do you think when you have players that play Saturdays, it helps out with your strength and depth on Sundays? Because if you play Saturday, somewhere you're going to cheat someone along the line. Can you give me 100% Saturday and 100% Sunday? Does that make sense?
I had a conversation with Billy Cove. Yeah, I had a conversation with Billy Cove about this a few days ago. And I said, dual registering is not for me. You either commit fully or you don't. Because what I'm doing here is, if it doesn't transcend what you're doing on a Saturday, then there's no point in me doing it. So I always say, look, if you're here, be here 100%. I don't want 75% of you. I don't want you turning up on a Sunday tired from a shitty Saturday game. Like, if you're here, be here. So what I see a lot, and we don't have semi-pro ballers in our team at Takers. We don't have step-free semi-pro ballers in our team like Lambeth does, like SC Dons does, like Zimble does. We don't have those players in our team. What we have is a well-coached group of amateur players that do this for the fucking passion. Like, they turn up and they just graft. We are what we are very much because of our level of commitment, not because we've got this one, that one. He's a dual register. That one's a ringer from there. So we don't get involved in all of that.
No, of course. I just think, do you know what the hardest thing is? Football's a matter. It's a game of opinions, and I think that question you just asked me is, I've made my assumption on what they want to see in them play. I think, but Lambeth haven't played Takers. Lambeth haven't played Rising Ballers. They're the games everyone wants to see. But if I want to go on what I've seen, footballing wise, I mean, I know Takers. I've only seen Takers once this year, and that was against Abbey. I believe the game I come to when it apps was Abbey. Yeah, you know, and done well in that game. Sort of dominated from start to finish. Dons are Dons. We know what the Dons do. One thing about the Dons, you can't play for the Dons half-heartedly. I know that much. Yeah, it's every week you better turn up and you better bring your A game. Same as Maz demands the best out of his players, the same way you do, Apple. So I think one thing with them 4 sides is one thing you are going to get is 100%, because people demand 100%. You can't turn up to me as you just saying and for I played yesterday, I'm a little bit leggy. No, that can't run. Then don't turn up, because I know that if I can't give you 100%, what's the point of me doing it? If you're not going to get the best me, what's the point? I'm going to just tarnish my name, and I'm going to let someone down. And I always say to my boys on a Saturday, if you don't want to be here, then don't come, because if you're playing an 11-a-side game and we're playing 10v11 straight away, then what's the point? You know, I need the best you every possible time I see you. Every time you come to train, I want the best you. Every time you play, I need the best you. You know, it's a results business. We had come a little bit. We had FA Vals on Sunday. We played Southall. They had 2 players sent off. We got them again on Saturday. Them 2 players can play. They're going to want to turn up on Saturday because they know it's their last game before they're banned. So Southall will get the best of them this week, but they never got the best of them last week, and that let them down. You know, so I think it's a hardest thing, trying to keep your emotions in check. It's a game played on emotions. I think one thing I realize as well with you, App, as well, I think you're very good at taking some of the spotlight of players, you know, and the information and the level of information you give them is very good. The right information to the right player at the right time, the right messages, no mixed messages, you know. So I just think that really it's a pleasure to be involved in an amateur game right now. It's a pleasure, you know, because there's so much going on. There's so much controversy. There's so much opinions. And this is the scene we're setting. Collectively, we are setting the scene together, you know? So it's just a pleasure to be involved with the teams that are involved, people like Roots, amateur footballers, I keep saying, Celt, you got the longest night. It's just a pleasure to be involved with you guys, man. It really is.
And listen, the pleasure's mine, really. Look, because I'm a fly on I'm a fly's ass around here. I'm literally nothing. So I'm sat in a room with 2 kings of grassroots football or amateur football, and I'm just kind of here to sort of ask the questions, because I think there's a lot of people that would want to know certain things. And the reason why I look to you guys as the king of amateur football is because you are the voice and the face of amateur football. You guys are the ones that have put everybody's homes in front of everybody's screens, and that's a very, very big deal. It's a powerful thing to be able to do that. I've actually got another question for you guys, because I've got so many questions. One of the things that I'm keen on is charity. I'm a big believer in charity. I'm a big believer in inclusion. If we could do a charity event, a massive charity event, where we could go London All Stars, Ballers, Takers, Lambeth, SE Dons, and a one-off event. Can we play against an England 11? Can we play against a rest of Britain 11, a North of Midland 11? Could we? Do you reckon this is something that we could do? Trying to help some homeless. Look, I know there's an awful lot of charities out there, but I'm someone that's quite keen on helping the homeless, because these are people like me or you that are just. Listen, we're all one bad mistake away from being homeless. We're not millionaires. I'm saying. So it's just like, I'm quite keen on helping the homeless.
1,000,000%. We at the minute, sorry, my daughter, she's very, whenever I'm out, my daughter says, Dad, hell, you got to help them. And sometimes I'm a bit of a Scrooge sometimes, and I won't lie to you. Certain times I'm like, no, I'm not giving them nothing. I've got kids and whatnot. And certain times everyone's got a story, and I think their story needs to be heard. We're doing something.
Yeah, but we can help in other ways.
There you go. So at the minute we're sort of doing
platforms help in other ways.
Yeah, so we're sort of collecting just unwanted bits. Like, I've worked at 3 clubs. The amount of puffer jackets and warm jackets I've got upstairs that just sit in my wardrobe because it's a football jacket. I don't need them. You know, you get what I'm saying? But that is more use to someone who's homeless. Right now, it is. When I leave my house at 5:30 in the morning, do you know how cold it is outside? Yeah, so, and you think people have had to sleep in that all night. So I think definitely with our platform at URFreshTV, with people like Roots and this is definitely something we can help with. And I think a lot of this needs to happen more. This collaboration needs to happen more. Because if you don't collab, there's holes. And people fall through them holes. And that's where we need to come together, I think, a little bit more.
Do you know, I completely, listen, I echo that. And one of the things I like to hear is the phrase culture, because we are really the inventors of what this culture is going to be. If we don't write this correct right now, what it might become in 10, 15 years when you guys are no longer in the game, it could become something that's quite chaotic, and it kind of just implodes on itself. So really, you guys are the foundations of this amateur football scene, and I'm keen to see you guys work together to try to sort of obviously enrich what this is, rather than try to tear it down. It's sort of because of competition. So if we could do events like this that keep us connected, I think it would be a great thing. Yeah.
I thought he was going down a different direction. I thought he was going to say Team Roots versus Team URFresh, because you know what?
Listen, you know why that's a bad idea? Can I tell you why that's a bad idea?
Whoa. Because the amateur footballer, I know he's listening, he needs to hold smoke first. So again, I've got a TV, and then I've got Then again, if you're fresh, again, if you want a little 11 as well, Apple obviously he's got to be my team. He's got to be my team coach because he's my guy. And then you find your team coach, Ryan, or you could be the coach. And then
listen, with a can man,
you know
anyone
what? That'd
can
be a bad
get
idea. Listen, I need to tell you guys why it'd be a bad idea because whoever I'm attached to, that's who's going to win. So, and that is just one of those things where it's just like we can't because we can't start bidding more. And I don't think it's fair to have a professional coach attached to something like that because ultimately, if I'm with Roots, then Ryan, you're gonna cry. It's gonna be you crying because it's just like I'm just no, bro. I have to say how it is, bro. I have to say how it is because I don't take L's when it matters. I don't take L's when it matters.
Listen. Let's do it. As I said, anyone can get
cohesion.
Yeah, they call us the cat. I'm the can man. Yeah, you can get it. Anyone can. So if we want, we can do that. 11 for a good cause. Team Roots. Listen, Apps, you choose what team you want to play for. It's entirely or you can be the ref.
Nah, listen.
You know what? I will referee the game.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Even if you went, listen, you could do a mini tournament. You could go Team Stealth, Team Roots, Team URFresh, Team Amateur Footballer, and it's for a good cause. And whether you do fives or what, for me, it's all about that competition's healthy. But let's do it for a good cause. Let's do it for a reason. Bragging rights are good, but let's do it for a reason where it can actually help people because we use the power of our platform to help, you know? Yeah. And I think you said culture, that's a big message to send out to people, you know? Obviously, at the end of the day, URFresh will come home with a bragging rights, little trophy of our name on it and that. We know that already. We've probably been around the least time, but we're probably going to do this. You know how we do Roots already, so we know how we get down over in South.
Listen,
I'm just letting you know now.
You have to talk like that. You have to talk like that, and I respect it because the only way you come away with the trophy is if I'm your gaffer. Otherwise, forget it. Okay. But anyway, we just
remember finishing touches South. He basically is at my mum, so really he's South, really, innit?
You can say that if you like. Listen, the thing is, he's my guy. So
is that what you're saying? That's it.
Look, at the end of the day, Apple's my football, he's my manager, he's my coach, he's all of the above. So again, what he says goes. So when I send him out, I say, oh, find me the best 11.
Look at this. He delegate. Okay, listen, I tell you what, right? We've had a lot of good ideas today. I think one key message from this interview is we have to put some of these into action. We really do need to exercise. We really do. Even if that means when the banter's finished, we bang heads after this. Because there's a lot of good ideas in there, man. And ideas without action are just, as I said, end up in the sky and the clouds. And I think generally one of the biggest things we can help people, we give a lot of people Roots. We give a lot of people happiness. When they go on social media, there's a lot of negativity. And they look at our platforms, whether it might be, you know, Roots trying to put your shin pads in back in today to roll back the years or what. No, but we got a lot of good in us. And we're good people, Roots. And that's why you need to spread that love, man. We need to help each other.
Oh, look who's watching that. You can get it, man. Don't worry. You can get it, boy.
Listen, who's starting the group chat? That's what I know. Who's going to start the group chat? And then we'll get these things, not just on paper.
Roots, you got everyone's number, innit? You have everyone's number, innit, Roots? So you could be admin. That's another job for you. You could be group admin.
Another job.
But I don't want to see, I don't want a Roots badge as the group display picture. Yeah. I know you, but I think that's the thing. I think the key thing is after this, let's get the group going and let's start banging heads, man, because I'm telling you now, we can take this to the next level. We will take this to the next level. I really do believe that.
I'd like to see an amateur 11 versus an England celebrity 11 or their UNICEF team where they get a lot of the. I'd like to see that as a charity game. The way that they got Chunks and Philly in there to play. I'd like to see them guys come and turn out for us. For the
well, I think that's achievable now. I think them things there are achievable, apps. I think it's just about. Do you know a lot of these things people think it's unachievable because people don't want to put the work in to make it happen. And really, all three of us are involved in football. Listen, as I said, I can't guarantee it, but we're at Sutton United. It's 3G. I'm sure that for a good cause, I can go and get somewhere like Sutton United for a charity event. There's a pitch there, and let's get everyone involved, man. Let's make a day of it. I know it might restrict us a little bit if COVID's still here, but you can really turn that into a really big community event.
Well, if we are restricted by COVID, one of the things that I would say is our luxury is that we've got 2 TV channels that I'm sure would do very, very well to broadcast a game like that. If we can
imagine broadcasting it on this Roots live, broadcasting it live interactions.
Of course,
you know,
of course,
and
real people on the commentary.
Live smoke as well, man. Just like
I'm here for that.
Oh my God. That's what I can.
Rondo saying Apps ref. Hey. Nah, he's not ref, bro. Listen, we can find the ref. Don't worry about that.
Apps can do bits as well. Who did I see Apps Megs in the other day? Some freestyler. Yeah, and that's what.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Listen, I need to remain an anomaly. I don't want people to know that I can ball. I want to turn up one day just with some drag boots on and holes, and then when I bang up someone, they just go, what? And so don't tell no one I can ball. Just hold it down, innit? Hold it down.
What he's going to say, if you don't know me 10 years, don't apps me. That's what he's going to tell people.
100%.
No, but honestly, listen, I just again, Roots, thank you for allowing me to come on, man, because this has been an entertaining hour. I've been bored today, and this is really entertaining me, man. Trust me, really entertaining me. But I am gonna have to love and leave everyone because I got daddy duties, and we've actually got a podcast. But guys, for both of you, continue to inspire people. Keep doing the good work. Everyone who's logged in live, go and follow Roots, follow URFreshTV Sports if you want to, follow Takers, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. Thank you very much, gents. Enjoy your evening.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Love.
Thank you, man. Cool, man. There we go, Apps. Got some work to do, boy.
It looks like it.
Right, man. Anyway, guys, we're also going to love you and leave you because we've got things to do. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've enjoyed yourselves and learnt